Welcome back to Split the Party. I'm your host Steve Osmond, and today we are talking about Cutthroat Caverns. This is an older game, but I just recently picked it up and I've been really excited about this game because I have friends who are jerks and we play games to be jerks together. We like to play games where at the end of the day we are going to have to take a break and then email and text apologies to each other and come back, and I think this game is going to fit really nicely into that collection. So I'm looking forward to playing it with all of them, but I have played it a couple of times and I want to tell you guys about it. So Cutthroat Caverns is a Smirk and Dagger game. If you're not familiar with Smirk and Dagger, you should be. Nevermore is a Smirk and Dagger game, but you should definitely look into their games. Basically, you've gone through a dungeon and you have found, what do they call it? It is the, I don't know, the artifact of epic awesomeness or something to that effect. It's a legendary item. Basically, you found this item. We found it. We made it through the dungeon and we got the thing. Now we have to leave. But in between us and leaving are these guys. And they're horrible. So we have to deal with them. Specifically, we have to deal with 8 of them. So as you're leaving, you will deal with 8 of these things, possibly more. Where it gets a little tricky is that we don't want to just kill them any old way. You only get prestige points, which are the victory points for this game, if you land the killing blow. So you want to be the one who swings the last little bit of damage on this guy. That may mean sabotaging your party members, unfortunately. It may mean undermining their abilities and their plans. It may mean sometimes helping them. Sometimes you're going to help them out. But it also a lot of times means that you're going to be sticking it to them on the way out. It really kind of gives that sort of Benny Hill feel of like, and you're all scrambling to get out of the dungeon and doing whatever you have to each other to get through these monsters and these traps. It's really, really fun. And the traps, you know, they've got a lot of great flavor and there's a lot of differences. You've got things like the Archmage and the Lurker and the Ripper, which are just, we're going to fight these things and then we get through. The riddle room, everybody throws in their hands and you deal out a bunch of cards in a grid and then you play memory. And everybody who fails to get a match takes damage until you've gone through a certain number of rounds and then you can pick up all those cards and move back on through the dungeon. You know, there are a number of different traps that deal damage. You've got the wolf pack. The wolf pack, if you fail to kill it, the wolves that are left howl and bring more wolves, which is why you've got these guys here. You got boogans, which I haven't dealt with the boogans, but they also multiply. You get more and more and more. There are a lot of boogan tokens. So as you're going through, you know, you're just trying to beat these encounters, and you track those on here as you're going down, and get more prestige for beating the encounters, for being the person who made it through the trap, for making sure that you're still alive. That is also key. If you have the most prestige points, it doesn't matter if you're dead, because you didn't leave. So you may get to the point where you realize there are other people who are beating you. Well, that's fine. Kill them. They can't win if they're not alive, so you kill your compatriots and get through. That can also get a little tricky because the game's difficulty is set at the beginning of the game based on the current number of players then. If 2 of you drop off and you had 5 people all together, you are playing the game with 3 based on a difficulty of 5. So that's going to be a little bit harder to deal with. So you want to hold off your plans to stick your dagger firmly in your friend's back until a little bit later in the game. It's fun when you've played it enough times that you really know what you're doing. It's a little frantic. The cards come in 3 different flavors. There are attacks which either deal damage or modify the damage that's being dealt. There are actions. The actions can be played on yourself or on other people to modify what they're doing that turn. Sometimes you can shut them down. Sometimes you can swap attacks with them. It's just it's your special effects that are going to modify what's happening there. And then you've got equipment, which in the base game amount to pretty much just potions. You've got a lot of potions, but you also have the Amulet of Mentalism, which allows you to hold 1 extra card in your hand. For the most part, you're dealing with potions of Iron Skin, potions of Strength, potions of Healing, things like that. And they've got a really great mechanic for how to use the potions. I will show all of you guys, or show all of you that on the next one when I actually show how to play the game. For now, I just want to tell you what I think of the game. And after looking for this game for a while and trying to find a copy that had not been real heavily used, I am extremely happy to own it. I look forward to picking up a bunch of the expansions, seeing how the game grows after this. I think if you've got a group of players like I do, and I know I've talked about this in previous videos, where you guys really like to, you know, do the cooperative, competitive thing. We're working together, sort of, until you turn your back to me. If your friends are like my friends, you will love this game. So check out Cutthroat Caverns. It's, you know, it's a really fun game. It doesn't take long to learn. It doesn't take long to play, and it fits in just about anybody's collection. All right, well, that's I think that's all for the review. Come back next week and I'll tell you guys how to play it. All right, for now, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Duo Bus Design, Sound G Entertainment, Excelsior Games and Comics. And as always, I'll see you in the Nerdverse.